Hey guys, this is Zilla from the AVW clan over here on the test server, and I am taking a completely stock Ranger out and I'm going to give it a try. And this is the first attempt I had with this. I've been playing carriers for a very long time. My first tier 10 was a Midway. I have a tier 9 Taiho, and I also have an Enterprise. So shouldn't be hard, right? Well, not quite. This is a different world. First of all, you don't maneuver your ship the way you do in the live game. In fact, there's no way to really maneuver your ship. You get on the map, you autopilot it to a spot. I try to hide behind an island, and then you select a squadron. You don't have any fighters per se. You have these fighters. These happen to be Brewster Buffaloes, and they have rockets. So you head out and you're looking for something to shoot at. Now, if you look at it, look at that flak. You got 4 fighters, and then in the center, you'll see that little circle on the ground. That's where your aiming point is for your rockets as your planes make their approach. Okay? So this is pretty neat. This is far and above better than what it was in the game. I'll comment more on that a little bit later, but for right now, let's take a look at these. This is completely stock. This is what you get when you first buy the Ranger. Again, this is my first game, completely new to it. I have no idea what I'm really doing. As you can see, I make my approach way too early. Way too early. You need to wait until you're dead on top of the darn thing. And you have to give it some lead. So there's the claim that this is going to eliminate the skill gap between player carrier. It's going to create a greater skill gap between carrier players. It's not going to eliminate it. There's no way it's going to eliminate it. If you're very good at this sort of thing, where an arcade style gameplay, you're going to do very well with carriers. But if you struggle with it, or it takes you a while to get your feet wet, then you're going to have some problems. So again, this is a test server. There are glitches. I momentarily lost control of my planes there for the first time in this game. There are quite a few times I've lost control of my planes in this game. You're supposed to be able to move them around with your mouse, but I ended up at some points in this game having to use the WASD key. And that's just a glitch. It's a test server. There are things that go wrong. Okay, but one of the things you find out and maybe they'll fix this, I don't know, your planes are very fragile and you lose them very quickly. For tier 6s, these guys have some ferocious anti-aircraft fire. So what I'm doing now is I'm launching some torpedo bombers, and while they're getting into the air and getting together, you look on the ground, you'll see on the waves, you'll see that little V. Now that becomes very hard to see. See how it disappeared? It's under your screen. It's under the screen. You can't see it. And I wish they would fix that. Now it's coming back. And I wish they'd make it brighter and a little bit bigger, so that you don't lose track of it. Because that's the direction your planes are heading. The V indicates the fan in which your torpedoes are going to launch. And the point of the V closest to you is going to be where the torpedoes launch at. Now, it doesn't tell you what the range of your torpedoes are until you get into a dive. And then it will be yellow, turn green, this fan will narrow, and at the end of that, it stops, and that's where the torpedoes, that's the complete range of the torpedoes. Okay? Again, this aircraft carrier has no captain points, no modules, nothing special, no upgrades. This is completely stock, out-of-the-box Ranger. Okay? Now, if you look at the bottom of the screen, you'll see on the left, that's torpedoes. It tells you, okay, torpedoes. I don't know what that second one really does. It says engine cooling. I'm assuming it's a repair. And then the third one calls fighters to your location to help support you. And the fourth one, the F key, that will send your planes back to the ship. So I'm closing in on this battleship here with my torpedo bombers, and I'm going to try and make a run. Again, lead, drop, I don't know. This is new to me, just as it might be new to you. You see that yellow line? That's where your torpedoes end. Okay? So you come in, you approach, the fan narrows, and then you launch. And if you want to launch before it gets into that yellow, because that's the arming range of the torpedoes. Alright? So I launch on that. Now this is a bot. I actually hit one. Guys, this is a bot. It only does X, Y, and Z. It's not going to do a Q. In a random battle, or a ranked battle, or God love them, clan wars, you're playing a carrier with this in play against live players? Oh my God. You'll never hit any of these guys. I have seen ships do the most amazing torpedo dances I've ever seen. And that's on the live server against the current system. So with this, it's going to be even more difficult, which is why I said this is going to be even more skill-based than it was before. Now, one of the nice things about this is that, okay, 2 of my planes attacked that battleship. We got a hit. We were coming out of the dive. We saw that cruiser off to the right. Okay? So we launched against that. So you can launch attacks against multiple ships using a single squadron. You don't have to focus all of it on one ship. That's nice. You spread your resources around a little bit. And of course, if you're skilled, which I'm not right now, you have the potential for even more damage. Okay? So I took my dive bombers out. I'm going to give these a try. Again, I can't point this out enough, guys. Please don't be too critical of me. I am an older guy, and I have never played this mode before. I have played World of Warplanes. This is very similar to World of Warplanes. Of course, we've all played War Thunder, I think, but I've never played this. And again, you're up against bots, and you're missing a lot. What are you going to do against real players with the defensive fire cooldowns and the anti-aircraft mountains on them, or Cleveland, or Des Moines, or Worcester, or a Minotaur, for God's sake? You're not going to have any planes. By the time they get there, they're all going to be gone. So I start my approach, I think, way too early. Yep, way too early. You got to wait until that little white crosshair is almost right on. See where it is at right now? That's when I should have dropped. Okay? But I didn't. Because, again, I don't know what I'm doing. Shoot. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm not one of these people that can just jump into a video game and be an expert right off the bat. I'm not one of those guys. I'm no Unicom. So I'm approaching the right way. I'm approaching from his stern. I'm coming right down the line. Here we go. And I donk the shot. Do I? Do I hit him? Or do I donk the shot? I donk the shot. Off to his left. I think that's starboard. Yeah, I forget if starboard's left or right. I know port's one side, starboard's the other side. Alright? They got portholes. How come they don't have starboard holes? Anyway, I'm coming after this one. Now this one I got correct. Aha, that's the way you're supposed to do it. I'll figure that out sooner or later. Now, one of the things that's very disconcerting to me is while you're flying your squadrons around and you're attacking these ships and you're doing your thing and having fun, your aircraft carrier is unguarded and vulnerable. Vulnerable to enemy ships and vulnerable to him. And you don't control it, folks. You don't control it. Now, if there's a way that I'm missing, please let me know. But the only way I know of to get back to your ship is to hit that F key and jump on your ship and hit repair. Because what's going to happen here is the enemy aircraft carrier, kudos to him, he's going to mess me up. He's not going to sink me, but he's going to mess me up pretty good. And I'm going to have no way of stopping it. None. So I see his planes coming in, I call up fighters to help. Okay? 4 torpedo bombers. Out on a mission. There's a battleship stuck on that island. He's stuck on that island. I want to go after that battleship. Watch what happens to my carrier. I have no way of controlling that. None. Look at my carrier.
We're hold below the water line. We're flooding quickly.
I can't stop it unless I abandon these planes and go back. And now I can fix the flooding. And if I need to, I can maneuver my ship. At this point, I don't need to maneuver it simply because there are no other enemy ships around me. But he tore me flat up. Now, I had 2 torpedo bombers in reserve, so I launched those while the other 4 are coming back. As you can see on the mini-map, 4 are coming back, 2 are going out. If you look at the little keys on the right-hand side, you will see I have no torpedo bombers ready to go. 4 are in transit, 2 are going out. Okay? I have dive bombers ready. I have rocket planes ready. I have yet to get the hang of the rocket planes. I'll get there eventually, but it's going to take some practice on my part. Okay, so these guys are going out after this battleship. And at this point, I'm kind of frazzled. My ship got tore up. He knows where I'm at. If I move out into the open, I'm going to expose my ship to fire, gunfire from enemy ships. And they outnumber us right now pretty significantly. So I'm just doing my best to try and contribute in whatever way I can. I'm looking at my damage. I see I've got 6,700 damage, I think. And I'm like, this is embarrassing. I'm used to doing 100,000 plus, you know. And I'm just barely able to hit anything. And again, this has to do with practice and whatnot and, you know, how to get along. Now, you see this battleship. He's heading toward that island. Now, he's cut on this side of that island. And what he's going to do, he's going to get stuck there. All right? He was stuck on that island over on the right. Now he's going to get stuck on this island here. And I don't know if it's a bot thing or what, but I'm making an approach here. I'm coming in behind and a little bit too far off. I launched too far out, and these are going to miss. So you live and learn. We learn by making mistakes, right? So my other 4 dive bombers, or torpedo bombers, they're ready to go. I'm going to send them up after that battleship, I think. But the game says, well, yeah, you can go this time. All right. So here we go. We're going in and doing the best we can, trying to do some damage. I will say this to Wargaming. Очень хорошо. Very good job. Yeah, so far so good. I still don't trust Dasha when she says, do you doubt us? You're darn right I doubt you. I've seen what you did with World of Tanks, and I saw what you did with the American carrier line, and that was criminal. Absolutely criminal. The way you nerfed the Midway into the freaking ground. There was no point in even playing it. And the poor Lexington, at this stage of the game, oh my God, I feel sorry for a Lexington player every time I see him going up against Shikaku, going up against Enterprise, going up against Graf Zeppelin, plus the power creep with the anti-aircraft fire. Unbelievable. So this is far and away far better than what you had. So here I'm making a torpedo run. I'm coming in too far out. I'm too far off. You see where the line is on the ship? I'm too far out. I'm too far off. Those are going to miss. I'm way too far off. You got to get in knife fighting range. And even at tier 6 against bots, that anti-aircraft fire is just too much. They need to tone that down. And I know there's ship captains that are probably going to say, oh, screw you, man, we need it. Aircraft carriers rule too long. You play one. Now this one, I donked that, because if you look, you see that yellow, it didn't arm. So whatever I launched didn't do any good. I just lost all my planes, so I'm going to launch dive bombers. I think these are Curtiss Helldivers. Now, someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe these are the Helldivers. You know, the planes that Ernst Udet saw and insisted that Germany buy, and Germany copied that and developed the Stuka out of it. The idea of the Stuka Geschwader. But at this point in this game, I'm not in control. There's a higher power in control here, guys. I cannot steer my planes. It's a glitch. So I'm flying over these islands, I don't know, putting on an air show, sightseeing, taking pictures, dropping leaflets, checking out the nudist beach below me. I don't know. But I lose complete control of the planes. I call them back to the carrier and I launch torpedo bombers again. Okay? Thinking maybe it's just the dive bombers that are glitched. Wrongo. The torpedo bombers are glitched too. So they just fly around to the end of the map, and yeah, I'm sure they'll fix this, but it's a minor glitch. It happens now and again. And I found that the only way I could steer the torpedo planes was by pressing the WASD keys. So that's a glitch. You're going to come across that in any test server. I don't care what game you're playing. There will be glitches. How many times have you logged into like World of Warcraft and seen animals sticking out the side of a cliff, or floating people, or things like that, or just cubes? So again, this is a glitch. It does give you a pretty nice view of the landscape, though, and I mean the planes are pretty to look at. They really are. They've done a good job. Buff up the details a little bit more, you know, and you got it made, Blizz. Yeah, not Blizz. I'm thinking Warcraft. You got it made, Wargaming. So I'm using the WASD keys, which is really wonky, to maneuver these planes around. And I'm aiming for that ship right there, that battleship. Okay? However, someone else is going to get him before I get there. And then the only thing left is going to be his enemy aircraft carrier. Alright? So this is winding down. We are going to win. Yay. But one of the things I wish they'd fix about the test server, you run out of money real quick and in a hurry. And you can't repair your carrier and go back in and fight another fight, much less get modules on it. So they do have mechanics in there where if you play other ships, you can earn 1 million or 5 million credits that will repair your ship, but it costs so much to repair the ships, and I hope that doesn't translate to the in-game economy, because it costs well over 5 million credits to repair and replace and replenish your aircraft carrier at tier 6. Can you imagine what it's going to be like at tier 10? It's ridiculous. They do need to address that. I'm testing the aircraft carrier. I need to play it over and over and over and over again. I don't need to play it and then take a 20-minute break while I play battleships and cruisers and destroyers to get credits so I can play the aircraft carrier one more time and then repeat the process over again. Please, Wargaming, address that issue. Yeah, I am trying very hard to give an honest judgment on what this is, and right now there are 3 main things I can gather out of this. Is A, you've done a remarkable job with the graphics, with the gameplay. It needs some polishing, but you're almost there. You have done a much better job than you did with your anti-American bias with the carriers. I have not noticed any disparity or glaring disparity between the Japanese planes and the American planes. Again, here I'm steering with the WASD keys. It's just kind of hard to hit a target when you lose control. You can't move the mouse and maneuver them that way. And finally, fix the economy in the test server. Yeah. We need to be playing these more often. We need to put lots of practice. We need to get used to them. We need to get the modules. We need to get the upgrades. We need to get the other planes. Couple of things I noticed in the test server here. God, bless America. That anti-aircraft fire is going to be an issue. I have ships that are anti-aircraft spec, so don't look at me. But I'm here to tell you guys, if you're playing a carrier and you're trying to do this and you're up against a Worcester or something, whew, Lord have mercy. You're not going to have any planes. They're going to be gone. And so, as this game winds down, this is my first attempt, a rather poor one, if you look at my damage, at the test server. I'm going to continue to do this. I'll post videos as I get them. Hey, очень хорошо wargaming. Очень хорошо. Alright? In the meantime, I'm in AVW. On the North American server, we have some openings. If you'd like to join, give us a holler. Again, this is a work in progress, guys. Test server. So you guys be good to each other and have a wonderful day.